What's up, my friends? Today I'm going to make a self-care bingo sheet, and you can see that I've already sketched it all out. I'm going to be using my Mildliners and click art pens and Mildliner brush pens to create this today. I think I'll probably use these Sarasa Clip Pens for the writing part as well. So let's go ahead and get started. So first I'm just going to outline First, I'm going to do the bingo because that's going to come through the L here, and that'll help tell me where to outline all of this. But so I'm creating this because I love creating a bingo sheet every once in a while. And I'm doing all pen today because a few months ago in March, Zebra Pen did a challenge where they each week had people do a prompt and share it on their own feeds, and then they had two judges who'd pick a winner. So I won one of those weeks, and then at the end the judges looked at all the winning entries and then picked a grand prize winner, and I won the grand prize. Woohoo! It's super awesome. I have a dream cart coming to me. If you don't know what that is, look up Create Room, and they have this really cool system where they have this dream box. I did not want a dream box, those are huge, but a dream cart, which like has these wings that fold out and has a little storage space, super cute, and a tool cubby. And along with that, I get to do a takeover of the Zebra Pen page. So I was thinking of what I'd want to share, and a lot of what I really love is about self-care. So I thought it was high time to make another self-care bingo sheet to share. And I'm doing it all pen because, you know, Zebra Pen is all about their pen. So I'm using all the product that they sent me as part of my win for this. Anyways, that was long story short, or kind of long still. But I'm creating a self-care bingo because I think it'll look really cool. And it helps me just kind of check off things on the self-care world as I go about my day. And I'll use this for about a month or two, and then I usually make a new one once I finish up the old one. All right, so I want to outline this, so I've got this piece of paper that I've been testing things on. So I'm just going to draw a line real quick and see if I think it looks better with just the thin blue or the thick navy. And then on the other side of it, I was going to do just a little highlight with gray. If I'm doing that, let's do the click art pen, the thick one. Right now the baby is still asleep and letting me do all this. I may have to pause and come back to it at nap time because these pen only spreads can take a little while to do. All right, so if you were going to create this, you'd have to decide if you want to do it for just a month, in which case you could, instead of just self-care bingo, you could label it the month, like May self-care bingo or something like that. Or you could just label it the way that I have. I love making like letter art, so that's why I'm doing it all like this, but you totally could just write it in or use stickers, and it would be a lot faster that way. But this way looks super cool. The other thing you can do is do this for other things other than self-care. You could do it with journaling and put in journaling prompts in here. You could do it with gratitude and have different ways to show gratitude, like writing a card for someone, doing a random act of kindness, sending a gift to a friend, you know, all those different sorts of things. But I love bingo sheets. I love challenge sheets. It just is a fun way to make sure that you're doing the things that are important to you. And for me, self-care is just a huge part of my needs in order to be a better human, to be a better mom, a better wife, just a better who I want to be. I have found that by putting effort into my own self-care, just everything gets better. I have a 4-year-old and now a 5-month-old, so we're kind of in that period of life where things can be really hectic, and just making a little bit of time for myself just makes everything better. Some days I have more time than others. Like right now, I'm making the time to make this. I've got my coffee. It's like 7 in the morning, and I'm just doing what I can. But other days, I wouldn't have time for something like this. Okay, so now that I've done that, I did the gray or the navy here. So let's do gray for the outline of the self-care. And then I have these 3 pens, Mildliners, that I chose out for the decoration on the inside. I thought about doing all sorts of different kind of like wellness and self-care icons that I doodle all around the page, but I'm not very good at doodling. So I ultimately decided just to do 2. And I chose, let's see, if I do it like this, do I want this to come out just a little to show that L? There, okay, kind of looks like an L still. I chose to do a paintbrush and little paint tray because I love crafting and using paints and all those sorts of things. And then of course the other side I had to use a notebook and a pen to signify journaling, because journaling is one of my big things. I always have at least one, if not more, journals in my planner lineup. All right, so the way I created these was I wrote out the letters in with the pencil, just like normal letters, and then I drew the lines around them thicker and then erased the normal pencil lines. So like drew an S, then drew the bubble letter around it to make sure it was the correct shape, and then erased the S on the inside. So if you're wondering how to do that, that's how. And before I drew those out, I counted the number of dots on the page and divided so that I made sure that I had enough space for all the letters and the little dash. All right, that's looking great. We're just going to erase some of these pencil marks because some of them will be seen with the Mildliner if I don't erase them. I just need to figure out what order to put the Mildliner colors in. I have a pink, a blue, and a purple. I thought those were really kind of calming colors and were nice for self-care. Okay, that looks good. Let's have a little coffee. Okay, so I think since we have blue here, the blue needs to either go in the middle or the top. And it's the brightest one of all of them, so let's do the top. And let's do let's do the blue in the middle and purple at the top. So now I'm just going to draw the place where I want the purple to stop, and then I'll color it all the way in. Okay. It's going to be easier to color this way, so I'm just turning it upside down so that I can color it in. It looks a little silly right now, I know, but it's going to be worth it in the end. So when I was in high school, we had this club that kids were a part of that was called Sports Boosters. You probably had one too. But one of the things that at my school they did was draw these awesome posters and word art for the sports teams. They'd make giant ones for them to run through at games, and then they'd also make like letter-sized little ones to put on people's lockers with their names on them and wish them, you know, luck for the game and stuff like that. And I always wanted to be a sports booster. I never had time. I was in band and all these other things, and it took a whole class period to be a sports booster. So I never was one, but I always picked up and tried to do the lettering that they had. So I have lots of ideas with this kind of stuff. So if you like my creative lettering with like art on the inside, let me know. This one's just really simple, but I've done ones where it's like a jungle scene or space or the beach, and it has like little doodles on the inside, and it's super fun. So if you want to see more stuff like that, let me know, and I can try to incorporate that more into my planning. All right, and there's the baby. So I'm gonna stop here and continue later. All right, I think he fell asleep again. I stuck the pacifier in his mouth, and then he's been quiet ever since. So I'm just gonna go ahead and keep working. He might sleep another 5 minutes. He might sleep another full sleep cycle, which is about 45. So we'll see. But I'm taking advantage of this time. My 4-year-old and husband are actually on vacation as I film this. They went to Disneyland. Don't worry, I've been with her before. We took her last year while I was pregnant so that we could take her for the first time as like a treat before the baby came. I did not want to go this time. It just seemed like such a haul to bring a 4 to 5 month old baby and take him around the park, and one of us wouldn't be able to go on most of the rides, you know, all those things, and it would just be bringing him around, and he'd be napping and getting bad naps and cranky, and didn't seem like so much fun. So I sent them off with my blessing, and they had fun, and it was honestly a nice mental break during this week for me to not have the 4-year-old and all the normal negotiations and emotions and all of that. So it's actually been quite nice. So while baby sleeps, I've been taking advantage and trying to film or do creative things every single time that he's asleep. So I have a couple more days before they come home, and I'm really enjoying this time. Anyways, there's that one, and then just fill in the bottom of this with the pink. See, there's a little pencil line I didn't get rid of. Whoops, but that's okay. It really shows through with the pink. But oh well. It doesn't need to be perfect. The point of it is to have some ideas for self-care throughout the next month or two, and if it's not perfect, that's okay. It's fun to do all this, but the point of it isn't for how it looks. The point of it is its purpose. Just like in my planner, I love decorating my planner, but the point of it is to get things out of using the planner, not to just have something really pretty to look at and stare at all week long. Oh, this is gonna be so much fun. I don't often do pen-only spreads, but today, I'm speaking in the future, for today when this video comes out, is my takeover with Zebra Pen on Instagram. So I'll post it to my page and it'll go onto their page as well. So make sure you're following them so you can see that. I'll have this one and I'll have one other thing up on Instagram. That I won't film. This one I'm turning into a reel, and so I'll have that up on Instagram as well, and then I'll have a static post that I'm putting up. I think I'm gonna do my planner spread this week when this posts, that's all pen, which I don't typically do, and because of that, I think I'm gonna do it off camera because it's gonna take a while to figure out and sketch and do, and it's gonna be really fun, but it is not my normal style, and so I think doing a video would require a lot of editing and honestly kind of be a hot mess. So we are going to just have that posted to Instagram. So if you wanna see that, you can follow me over on Instagram at Amy Plans Things. Maybe I'll share it here too in the community tab. I know you can post photos there, but we'll see if I remember. I don't always remember to use that community tab. I did some polls a while back to get some ideas, but that's really all I've used it for, or the occasional sale that I've been sharing. Okay, so I'm just lining these right now, just because I feel like it'll start bringing the spread together. I will need to erase the pencil before I write down the actual items because the pen that I'm going to be using is thinner than the pencil, and so I feel like it might be strange. And then with erasing, I'm not sure the pen will all stay 100% if I'm writing directly over the pencil. I don't know. And I drew a heart right in the middle because it's kind of like a wild card. Just if you do a bingo through the center, you don't have to do that one. Honestly, I just love making hearts on things. And also it was one less self-care item to come up with for this. So if you make this, you do not have to do what I have put in each of these boxes. You can come up with your own. So like if you don't like working out, or if you don't like hot cocoa or something like that, change it up. Put in apple cider or a hot drink or a cocktail or, you know, something, and come up with something else. Because you do not need to do what I do. And when you fill this out, use your pens to highlight the ones that you've completed so you can see when you have a bingo. All right, now we're gonna color these. So for these, I'm gonna need, let's do this one first. What color book should we do? Let's do a blue book so we can keep this color scheme. And we're gonna use gray for these little highlights. And let's use blue ink because I don't have a black ink pen and I just wanna use Zebra Pen products this whole time. I need to get some black pens from Zebra. I'll order those at some point. got that, and then we're gonna have a little bit of orange for the pencil and a little bit of pink on the very pencil eraser tip. Okay, so that's what we need, I think. Actually, let's use this orange because it'll be easier to color. So I'm just gonna draw what I've sketched, and I am not an artist. I do not know how to draw things, so to do these, I went to Google and looked at some images and picked one that I thought I could recreate. So you can do the same thing, even if you're not an artist. Takes a little practice to learn how to kind of follow shapes and all of that. The other option, if you really can't even do that, is to buy a little light board, is what they're called, and you can get them for about $20 off of Amazon. And you print off the thing that you want to draw and then put it on the light board and turn it on. And then you put a piece of paper over it and trace it. And it traces perfectly because you can see through the paper. And then you can have a perfect thing here that you did not have to draw at all. And that works out pretty well. Now, is it gonna be, orange might be too much. I think I might need yellow, actually. Let's see. Yeah, let's use yellow. And then pink eraser. All right, and before I color this in, let's go ahead and erase some of the extra lines. I smudged a little bit of the pink. I should have erased before I did the pink. Let's just get a little bit of whiteout. Do I have a white jelly roll here? I think it's upstairs, so I'm just gonna do a tiny bit, like, if I can. I'll use a white jelly roll on the rest of it later to clean that up. All right, and then to really make it look good, on the image I found on Google, they just had a little bit of shading with gray. Like this. So I'm doing that. And then color in, the pages are white, so color in the book, like cover. And there we have a really nice little journal. Look at that, so cute. Okay, anyways, we can put all these away. Now we're gonna do this one. So for this, let's use, we're gonna need brown for the little paint palette. And we will do red and orange, yellow, green, and blue for the little paints. Then for the paint brush, we can do gray, and I think I'll just use these actually for those. Okay. So for this, what I need to do is, that's the little thumb hole that you hold the paint palette with. And there's that. So I'm just gonna let that dry. That's really all I need to do for this. I need to erase this in a minute, so I'm gonna let it dry first. But while I do that, I am going to do the little brush down here, the little paint brush. I'm gonna use click art pens on it so I don't have to erase, I don't think. But let's see, do I want, maybe I'll do a different lighter color for the brush end. This one will go nicely. Okay, and then for this, it's going to be kind of harder because it has some detail. Maybe I can fill in with a Mildliner lighter gray to fill in, and you can still see those lines. Yeah, that'll work. Good enough. Okay. So let's see if we can erase this without having any issues. Doing pretty good. And I'm erasing all the little circle marks as well. I'll still be able to see them lightly, but with these Mildliners, I don't want the pencil marks to stay there. Okay. So we're gonna color in the paint colors and then draw the brown around it. All right, so these are the ones I'm using this month for my bullet journal, so I'm keeping them separate, just so I don't lose them. Now I'm trying to follow the line without going over the line. Hardest part is coloring in the lines. Okay, there's my little paint palette. It's not the prettiest thing, but it'll do. All right. And then for all of these, let me just try real quick. Let me see. What I want to do. Let's just try writing one of these out. So take a nap, or take a nap. Just make sure it dries because it's going to be sitting there for a while before I fill them in. And then let's see if I were to color it in with a Mildliner, what's going to happen. So let's wait just a minute. Coffee. Okay. Okay, that one does smear a little bit. And that one does not. Okay, so we're going to use the click art because click art does not smear like that. These ones are great for writing, but I do find with any pen, I typically want to do my highlighter beforehand. So I'm glad I checked. So we'll actually write it in with this. So I may not need to, no, I probably should erase just because my writing will be a little bit wider with the pen because it's more like a felt tip. Drink Cocoa by the fireplace. And I know it's spring, and fireplace and cocoa, you don't really think of spring, but to me, I do think of self-care with cocoa and fireplaces, and, you know, sitting there and reading a book and just relaxing. So even though it's not winter, that's still on my list. All right, so this one is challenge negative thoughts. I know we all sometimes have negative thoughts, and it's easy to get into a habit of thinking negatively. So one great way to combat that is to challenge them. All right, the next one that I have is take a nap. I'm not a napper, unless I'm sick, but it seems like a nice thing to do, to be able to just lay down in the middle of the day and do that. Now, there are different types of self-care. So call a friend would fit another bucket of self-care with your social needs, and catch up with someone you haven't seen or talked to in a long time. And of course, one of my items is spend time journaling. That's going to be easy to get for me because I do journal every day. But I could use this one instead of just like any journaling. I could like make it into like make a one-off journaling page or something like that, which I don't do all the time. Okay. Work on a craft. So this would be doing something creative that is not planner things. So I'm currently working on a paint by numbers. I have some epoxy crafts I want to do, all of that. So it would be doing something creative that is not planners and stickers. And every quarter or so, I love making a happy list to just write down what is currently making me happy. And I use stickers and markers and make it so colorful and fun. So I'll make a new happy list at some point this month, and it'll be nice to have just in the front of my planner. All right, have some comfort food, whatever that means to you. For me, that might be a big plate of Mexican food or brownies and ice cream. But for you, that could be totally different, I know. Let me know below what your comfort food would be. Then take a break. It's not often as a mom that I just sit down and do nothing. I'm constantly doing something, whether playing with the kids or cleaning up or prepping dinner, or even trying to do things for this YouTube channel and my Instagram and all of that. I don't often just sit and do nothing. All right, the next one is take a bubble bath. I love baths, so I just haven't had much time since the baby was born. So taking a bubble bath sounds really nice. Maybe send my husband out on a walk with the kids so I'm not hearing them. We'll see. All right, 10 deep breaths. You could also put in meditation in here or something like that, but 10 deep breaths is a quick, easy one to do. You don't have to do a lot of setup for it. You can literally do it anywhere. Okay, then this one was fun. I saw it online. Just play like a kid. Do something totally kid-like and let your inhibitions run free. Don't think about what other people will think of you. Just do something really fun. Roll down a grassy hill. Play with some toys, you know, and don't worry about what the world thinks. All right, I'm going to put a pink heart in here. I think the baby might be waking up for reals. So if that's the case, it'll be his first wake window. So when he goes down for his nap, I would come and finish it. But let's see. He's just kind of moving around right now. I've got the monitor right here because I'm 2 floors below right now. My crafty space is in the basement. All right, spend time outside. It's amazing how just seeing a sunny day and breathing the fresh air can do you so much good. Okay, and this one I had written in the past tense, but everything is kind of in the present. So I'm gonna change it and say declutter. Declutter my space. Tried to get rid of some pencil eraser and smeared that one. Oh well. Declutter my space. Get a massage. If you don't like massages, think about doing it as get a mani-pedi or do something where you're being pampered. And if you can't go out and do it, bring it to you. Get some face masks or get a bottle of nail polish that's new and do your own nails. Just something for yourself. Again, on the social needs with self-care, quality time with loved ones. That means, you know, putting your phone down and spending some good time with people, whomever that might be. All right, and he is awake, so I will finish that up in just a little bit. All right, it's nap time and I can finish the little bit left that I have of this, which is just these last few parts that I'm gonna write in. So this one, dancing always makes me happy and brings me joy. So a 5-minute dance party. My husband and I actually met out swing dancing. So dance was at one point a big part of our life. We haven't gone out recently to any social swing dancing because, well, kids, and also the pandemic threw all that off when we stayed home a little bit, and we haven't started going out again. But when the kids are older and we can get sitters, I think it would be really fun for us to go out on date nights out dancing again. That would be really fun. All right, then I added workout because just doing a good workout for your body sometimes just boosts your mood a little bit. Then a social media free day. It's really hard to do, but I feel like we all can use that on occasion. And what I'd probably do is schedule my posts for the day on Instagram and YouTube. And I don't think TikTok does that yet, but I'd have it all set up, ready to go. Just pop in and press post and then leave again. And just have one day just off of social media. I'd have my posts, but I wouldn't respond to comments or anything like that until the next day. All right, then read before bed. This is a goal every night, but especially with young kids, it actually rarely happens just because we're so busy, and by the time I get to laying down in bed, I'm just so tired. So I don't often actually complete that. All right, then write down 10 things I'm grateful for. So kind of just like a gratitude list, but I had to make a happy list up here, so I wanted to write it differently. Write down 10 things I am grateful for. We'll put the 4 down there. Ran out of room. All right, and then trying something new is always a good thing. So that could be trying a new type of food. I'm a big foodie, so I've tried a lot of things already. But it could be a new activity. It could be a new sticker shop that I haven't used before, something simple like that. Who knows? We'll figure it out. Stand in the sunshine. A little bit of sunlight goes a long way for mood, at least for me. Maybe that's coming from Seattle when it's cloudy 2/3 of the year. And then buy myself flowers. All right, and that is it. Get rid of all the excess. All right. So that is the self-care bingo. And then as you fill it, as you complete things, you take your Mildliner or whatever pen you have and you highlight the thing that you completed, and then you win if you get a bingo in any direction. But I mean, I also like just completing the whole thing and coloring it in and having it completely done. But just getting a row is a win in my book. All right, so that is how I create a self-care bingo. Let me know if you have any questions. And definitely tag me in it over on Instagram if you create one of your own. All right, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye.